Hello there, Qckslvrslash here, and today we have a video from Griffin Keeper in the Tier 6 German battleship, the Bayern, which I don't think I've actually featured a game of since I reviewed her when she first came out. And that's a little sad because this is a fun ship to sail. That said, I probably won't be bringing her to ranked myself. And on that note, anyone who's paid attention to the web portal knows ranked is coming tomorrow. And the season goes to, I believe, August 8th. Lots of time to grind your way to rank 1. I'm probably going to try to sit down despite the new job and really pound it out inside of a week. Now, as far as ships to bring, I've already done a video on that, and there's a lot of people who have some very strong opinions about ships, and they're different than mine, and that's fine. Everyone has a different opinion. You know, I felt certain Tier 6 battleships were stronger than others. A lot of that comes down to playstyle. If you do well in a ship, don't let somebody, myself included, tell you it's a bad ship to use in a situation, because maybe you can make it dance a way nobody else can. And ultimately, ranked is about showing off your skill and still trying to have fun while you grind your way up to the top. And I do feel this could be the season of battleships. And a big reason for that is the cruisers at Tier 6 really just don't have the armor to hold out against BBs, and when you have a more coordinated battle, a couple destroyers giving you smoke, battleships can get nice and close and do some pretty big damage. And there will be people out there who go, oh no, the Cleveland, she never gets citadel. Like, she's got some armor, and of the Tier 6 cruisers, arguably she has some of the better armor. Her downside, well, not eating a lot of citadels, she eats a lot of normal penetration damage. Even in like a Farragut, just shooting her kind of semi-angled bow-on type thing, you can get 3k a volley. That's what hurts the Cleveland, is her propensity to take consistent damage, a lot like some of the battleships at this tier, the Bayern included. You know, they can be hard to citadel, things like the New Mexico, the Arizona, the Bayern, because of how they were built. But the downside to that kind of all or nothing is the rest of the ship isn't as well armored, or the armor's not as well thought out, so they tend to eat a lot of consistent damage. You never get that massive hit in, but you're never completely kept out. And I think that's also going to make this season interesting, because unlike maybe previous seasons where there have been some really standout ships as far as this is the stronger ship, I'm not sure that ranked will have that so much this season. I think there's going to be stronger classes, and that's all going to rotate based on who is in queue. Now, Griffin Keeper, I think, gets a little lucky there. He's sailing in a pretty straight line, and some torpedoes pass astern of him. And maybe whoever shot them was expecting Griffin to slow up or turn or do something, and he just psyched them out. Now, we did see a Fujin right ahead in that smoke cloud. Pops the smoke. Okay, keep moving forward. In a situation like this, you're too close to that destroyer to run away. The Oba is a perfect target and a perfect demonstrator of what happens even with 3 over penetrations, 10,000 damage. And you know, the Aoba was giving a perfect side. Really, there should have been a citadel there and the Aoba would be dead, but it kind of demonstrates my point to a degree in that the Tier 6 cruisers, even when they get lucky with a couple overpens, really just can't keep the damage from these Tier 6 battleships out. Now, Griffin is playing aggressive. He's gone into Bravo, and he has decided this is where his fight is. He gets saved by the Furitaka there. That Fujin was accelerating forward, Griffin had no shots, and really, you knew what the Fujin was about to do. It was torpedo time, and no Eurobeats were required because no torps made it into the water. At least yet, because cue the Emerald. Well, it turned to launch torpedoes, that being its undoing as Griffin pumps some citadels into the easy target, finishing them off. And the fight is still here at Bravo. What's more interesting, or uninteresting, or just kind of crazy is how spread out Griffin's team is. They've got a couple ships everywhere on the map. You know, normally you get a really strong side. In this case, I would have expected more of the ships over here to really be pushing Charlie, and they're just not. And, well, enemy Bayern just punished Griffin for a bit of a mistake in my mind. He tried to slow up and reverse back into cover, and so often with ships, keep that forward momentum, angle out. Bayern's got good armor, you can take a couple shots. I personally would have driven out, or sailed out, turned my fat ass around, and then got back into cover. But he went into reverse and was a sitting target for a bit, the Bayern making him pay. And that's just how it is sometimes. Now, I think Griffin's gonna get at least a bit of a laugh here because that's pretty much a side on Congo who's paying no attention to where Griffin is. You see that little island land indicator though, and unfortunately not far enough back, pumps the shells right into land, and the Congo starts to turn away. Now Griffin definitely needs to be careful here. There are enemy CVs in play, and if you're not moving, you become a very easy target. Unfortunately, the enemy Bogue has also made himself an easy target, is spotted out in the open. I really would expect Griffin to take a shot here at him, but he may be lining up for the Texas or something else instead. The guns are loaded. I would have snapshot at that Bogue right away, but no, Griffin is refraining. He has restrained himself from shooting the easy target in the Bogue, who arguably is going to get into cover and probably disappear, and instead engages the Texas. He's got his engines going full ahead, and he's kept himself angled. Unfortunately, he's also getting a little too close to some land. But if you want to look at the silver lining, at least he's well angled. You know, that's a really decent angle there on the Koenig, the Bayern. They're all going to have problems doing any massive damage. And the same is kind of true of that Koenig. Now, Griffin's making the best of a bad situation. He's continuing to reverse and tanking with his stern. You can see the Dunkirk charging ahead, and oh, Griffin bounced some damage and is sticking right with his ally. The French and Germans teaming up at last. And this Koenig, I think he got a little too brave. I feel the Koenig thought he had support from that Texas and Bayern, so said, screw it, I'm charging in, and that's going to be the end of him. The Bayern's secondaries peppering away, that close-in battleship, anti-aircraft guns going to work because here's some torpedo bombers. Interestingly though, not going for Griffin, at least not yet. He's got his engines back ahead and he's got to run. At this point, pretty obvious the Koenig would probably go for a ram. There is still that island ahead there, and please tell me you're not going to hit it again, Griffin. Learn from the first time. Looks like he is. And it's funny how you can do things like that when you get into these tight battles. You become so focused on something right in front of you that you kind of forget what happened in the first place. And, well, unfortunately, the torpedo's coming straight at him, but I think the shallows are going to eat it up. Yeah, there it goes. Griffin's safe, and he's got a side on Dunkirk next to him that is playing the attractive target. Low health Aoba, off to the north, line it up, let the guns fly. And once again, side on cruiser, no issue getting rid of that. Couple overpens, finishing him off, and that's 2 targets down, 105,000 damage so far, and the fight's just going to continue. But this time, targets on the other side, and the one thing that definitely sucks in a battleship is when you're caught the guns facing the wrong direction. Now, obviously, Griffin hasn't been. The rear guns make it over, at least in time for their reload. Pumps a Citadel into the side of the Texas, pretty much eliminating his health. The Dunkirk charging away, going for a ram it looks like, but I think he's gonna miss. That's a bit of a strange maneuver. The Dunkirk's rear secondary is firing at that low health Congo. Can he finish him off in time? He does not. Now, what to do? In this case, fire your turrets separately. I'd fire one barrel at that Congo, finish the target off, then switch to the Texas. In this case, friendlies finish them both off. And good thing, because another enemy destroyer in close. And you can see he's keeping his guns to starboard. You know, he's edging his mouse around as he comes around because he wants those rear guns to be in as good a position as they can be for the second this Qckslvrslash is spotted. Speculative shot into the smoke. Personally, I wouldn't be doing that. You know, once you get to 2 kilometers, you're gonna hard spot the Qckslvrslash. Save your guns for when you have the shot. When you're this close, you know it's coming soon enough. Torpedoes from a bomber, that's gonna suck. And there's the Qckslvrslash. Eats 2 torps, has to hit the repair. Fortunately, damage control is ready. His secondaries detonate the Hatsu, and not soon enough. That enemy destroyer getting torps off just before getting destroyed, but once again, silver lining, the secondaries finished the enemy target. And that's what is fun about the Bayern. You know, this entire battle, Griffin hasn't moved all that far. Sailed into B, basically drove forward and backwards, doing the Austin Powers in the middle of the cap, and then finally got moving, but the whole time was getting damage out. Almost 142,000 damage, and 3 kills. The enemy team's pretty much done here, just a Bayern and Bogue left, so let's jump to post-battle. And despite not having sailed far, Griffin Keeper gets some really good damage in. All told, 411,000 credits, 4,900 experience, Confederate high caliber, close quarters expert, Dev Strike, just shy of 142,000 damage, got 3 kills, 5 sits, and really kept the enemy from pushing to B. Had the enemy team been able to kind of get into B there, I really think they could have pushed out, but between Griffin and the friendly Dunkirk, they did their job and kept all the enemies at bay. Bit of luck at times with some friendly support, namely the Furitaka finishing off that Fujin early, but it's a team game and sometimes you just gotta lean on somebody for some support. Top of the team, no real surprise there. Got a lot of damage. Did a lot of work, got a cap. That tends to put you up near the top of your team. As far as the damage he did, you can see who it was to. Most of it, well, was to the Texas. Absolutely nailed him with a couple volleys there. The Oba and Emerald rounding off a large portion of the rest, and it just goes to these low-tier cruisers really are the victims to these lower-tier battleships. By the high tier, when you factor in range and speed and all those things, it can be hard for a battleship to deal with a bunch of cruisers, but at low tier, because the cruisers don't have long gun range, they're close enough to the battleship that they can be accurately hit. End of the day though, Griffin took home 383,000 credits, 4,900 experience, and a win. I enjoyed watching it, I hope everyone else did, and before I go, couple housekeeping items. One, with ranked coming tomorrow, don't expect maybe as many videos, definitely not 7 a week. What I'm gonna do instead is, if I'm playing ships and playing ranked, my stream is going to be live. So head over to Twitch, make sure you're subscribed there. If you want to drop in, offer me some support, laugh at me, cringe as teammates do things that they shouldn't do, and overall just hang out. I also have a Discord channel. Everyone is welcome to join. The link is going to be posted below. I just ask that everyone keep it friendly in that Discord. I've got a couple voice channels, couple different text channels. Try to keep content where it belongs, i.e. if it's a battle result, put it in the battle results. Don't need to fill up, other channels with tons of stuff. Beyond that, I'll definitely be hanging out in Discord when I'm playing ranked. If you end up in a battle with me, join in on voice. It makes it a lot easier. I'll probably also be on TeamSpeak at the same time to just maximize my chance of having a friendly in comms with me. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I look forward to seeing people around through the ranked season. And if you like this, please consider giving it a thumbs up or subscribing. As always, I'm Qckslvrslash. I'll have another one for you all later.